Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Browns' latest Happy Labor Day. I am Dave Grendzynski, also known as Grizzer, and this is where you can get caught up on some of the latest news involving our favorite team in the NFL. That is, of course, the Cleveland Browns. Thank you to everyone who has liked our previous episodes, who has subscribed to the channel, who have become members of the Browns' latest Dog Pound, and to everyone who has gotten their comments into the viewer comment section. Now, coming up on today's show, it is game week, fellas. And if you look at the rivalry over the last 5 years, we owe them Cincinnati Bengals, who are coming to Cleveland this week. We'll also point out why we have a distinct advantage heading into this game over the Bengals. I'm going to double down on my predictions for the first half of the Browns season. And then down in the viewer comments, playoffs? You kidding? Playoffs? But first, they're practicing today, even though it's Labor Day. I mean, why do they call it Labor Day when nobody works? But anyway, the Browns are working. I'm working. Some of us are working on Labor Day. But they're out there. They'll get some work in today, and then it's a regular practice week, as the Bengals will come to town on Sunday, 1 o'clock. This is the 104th meeting between the Browns and the Bengals. But here's the thing, folks. We owe them, because take a look. I went to the land of small letters once again to find a graphic to show you that we've lost 4 out of the last 5 to these guys. And so when we beat them on Sunday, it will end a 3-game losing streak. So I did the last 5 years because this is Stefanski era. So he's got to figure this out. Unfortunately, a majority of that was the Deshaun Watson era, which is just brutal. The Bengals lead the all-time series 55-48 out of those 103 matchups. So, we do owe them, but we have a distinct advantage heading into this game on Sunday. Why? Well, because, I know all everybody's going to talk about is Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Chase Browns and this they got 2 chases. This a high-powered offense of the Cincinnati Bengals. But here's the thing. I'm going to go out. I'm going to say the best defensive line in the AFC right now. And so the Bengals gave up 48 sacks last year. Now, to compare, we gave up 66. The lowest. Do you believe the Buffalo Bills only gave up 14 sacks in 2024? That is crazy. But the Bengals were kind of in the middle at 48. But everybody's saying going into this season, the offensive line is widely considered to be their weakest asset. And so that's a problem when you're going up against the Browns defensive line. So I expect Joe Burrow to be under heavy pressure the entire afternoon. And we already talked about Denzel Ward. Remember, Jamar Chase said that Denzel Ward is his toughest corner that he goes up against every year. That Denzel shuts him down when you look at the stats. And we'll look at it again later in the week. But they'll take Chase out of this, and Jamar Chase, And Chase Brown, although I expect him to have a decent year for Cincinnati, if you're thinking about fantasy football, I don't think he's going to be able to get much going against the Brownies. So our defensive line versus their offensive line provides us a huge advantage in this game. And so that'll be something to watch for. Is that foreshadowing? Could be. When we do what to watch for later this week. But so we are going to tear them up on the front line. Now, here's the thing. Start of the new season. And remember when the schedule comes out, everybody wants to play the schedule game. Everybody looks at the schedule and says, this is a win, that's a win, But nobody ever goes back to it. I'm going back to it. And I've been telling you, Because all we keep hearing is these first 6 games of the year, 0-6, 0-6, 0-6. And I'm here to tell you at least 3-3. And I would have said 4-2, but there was a recent development that might hinder my pick. But here, let's do this. Let's look at the first half of our schedule. And there you go. We beat the Bengals. That is a win on Sunday. Mark it down. Going to Baltimore, that's going to be a tough one. But Super Joe, you never know. But I will relegate that as a loss, although I still think we could pull it off because it's so early in the year. Now, this was one that I'm going to give back potentially because of the pickup of Micah Parsons. How about that? Week 3 down there at Huntington Bank Field, you got Myles Garrett on one side, Micah Parsons on the other, going at it. I had us beating the Bengals originally, and so I'm gonna pull back a little bit on that. But so we'll go 1-2 to start the season. Detroit gonna be tough at Detroit, 1-3. But now we're gonna start cleaning up on people because we've got Minnesota in London. The London games are always crazy, and Minnesota has J.J. McCarthy, a former Michigan quarterback who won a national championship, but they had to cheat in order to get it. So we are going to destroy Minnesota in London. Then we're going to go to Pittsburgh. Old man Rodgers, by then he'll probably be in a wheelchair, but they're terrible. Pittsburgh is terrible. We are going to destroy them. Old man Rodgers won't have anywhere to run. Our defensive line will tear them up as well. Flacco will have a day. And then Miami, Tua will be gone by week 7, so we're winning that too. So there you go, 3-3. So 1-2, let's see. Beating the Bengals, beating Minnesota, beating Pittsburgh. So there's your 3 in the first 6 weeks. And then I'll throw in wins. I'm going to throw in wins at Miami and New England as well. At New England, yeah. Miami's not that good, and Tua will be out by then. So Quinn Ewers will be starting, and he won't be able to handle our defensive line. And Drake May, that's a little tougher one. And then the bye comes up. You see November 2nd. We'll get back to New England, but 3-3 first 6. I am sticking with it. 3-3, our Brownies will be. Now, viewer comments, they never lose. They're always undefeated. And we'll start with Southpaw Philly, 1976, who says, September 7th at 10 a.m., the Browns will play their first game. By 3 p.m., September 7th, the Browns will be 0-1. Now, Southpaw Philly obviously doesn't live in Philly, doesn't live in Cleveland. I think he lives in like Los Angeles or Seattle or somewhere like that because he's on Pacific time. But in Cleveland, Southpaw Philly, the Browns play at 1 p.m. And in Cleveland, Southpaw Philly, at 4 p.m., the Browns will be 1-0 because we are beating Cincinnati 56-2. You will get to see all 3 of our quarterbacks play as well. Moving on. Easy 9057 says, seriously think the Browns will make a deep run in the playoffs. That's what we teased at the top. Easy E 9057 has the Browns in the playoffs. Would not be surprised if there's a Super Bowl win. Mark my words. Easy, we are marking your words, my man. I live in Believe Land. Easy lives in Believe Land too. Here's the thing. Playoffs? Are you kidding me? Playoffs? Never know. I mean, there have been stranger things that happen. Worst to first and all that kind of stuff. And the defense will carry this team early on. And defense wins championships. And so look what happened. We made it to the playoffs with 19 quarterbacks in 2023. Including Flacco, who came off the couch at the retirement home. So stranger things have happened, but I'm living where you are, Easy. I think they're gonna surprise a lot of people this year. What dat you say? That's the handle. What dat you say says, I love your channel. but the guys writing the headlines should be fired. There is nothing going on in Cleveland that terrifies any team in the NFL, LOL. Well, yeah, I don't do the thumbnails and stuff. Like, I will suggest images now of who should potentially be on the thumbnail. But, I mean, you don't think, I think he was referring to when I said, hey, let's go out and grab Shiloh. He's on the beach. Let's get the Sanders brothers together. Let's get the band back together. And I think that's what he's talking about, because they said the NFL is terrified of this. I don't know. I kind of think the NFL would be terrified of that, because not that we aren't already the epicenter of the NFL universe. Oh my gosh. If Shiloh came here and was on the practice squad, we would be the epicenter of the NFL universe for sure. Tina Goldberg, 4435, simply says, looking forward to this season. Go Browns. Everybody is. Football is already here. Love it. And we're going to end today on Wave Rider Jake. And I really appreciate this, Jake. I mean, I showed this to my wife. I was touched by this. I really appreciate it, because it is really what I strive for every day. But Wave Rider Jake says, I don't ever really comment on videos, but I've been watching Browns media daily for a long time every year. This is the best, most to the point, accurate, unbiased, and entertaining coverage of the Browns I have ever seen. Thank you for your hard work, sir. Wave Rider Jake, I really can't thank you enough, man. That means a lot to me. And that's what I strive for. Actual and factual, but it's infotainment. I know I want to provide information and entertain in a little bit. It's what we're here for. Football is fun. It's supposed to be fun. And so let's never forget that. And Wave Rider Jake, I tell you, man, you almost made me cry, brother. I appreciate it. But everybody, have a great Labor Day. Have a safe Labor Day. If you've got drafts today, I know Labor Day is a big fantasy draft today. Good luck in your drafts. And it's Bengals week. It is Bengals week. The Bungles will be here on Sunday. We're going to beat the Bungles on Sunday. Man, oh man, football is back in Cleveland. Let's go. Go Browns. We'll see you next time.